Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Reasonably Effective podcast. And I guess I should say Merry Christmas as well as we're recording this. We're actually not recording it on Christmas, but we're releasing it on Christmas, depending on time zone.
Christmas Day, right? So this is our Christmas present to the community, I suppose.
Yeah, something like that. So, and I'm 10 Types, joined by Uncommon Fossil.
Hello, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
And this is episode
49, almost at 50.
Yeah, well, it is our 50th episode.
We have an episode 0, yes. Maybe we shouldn't have done that, but...
No, I think it's fun. Anyway, so today we're going to be talking about two things. We are going to be going over... The main portion of this podcast will be going over the...
cards and decks of the year. We talked about it in our last podcast, and we put voting up on our channels, and thank you for everyone that voted, and we'll be going through the winners there.
Yeah, and we'll into all the nominations.
Yes, right? We'll go through it. Yep.
We did talk about all the nominations last time, though. I imagine we're not gonna. It'll be different. Certainly, if you last watched and listened to it last time, it'll be different. But yeah. But first and foremost, we're going to be talking about the new ace specs. Those were recently revealed. For us, they were revealed today. As I said, we were recording this before, and then they were revealed the new sets as well.
Well, the Japanese sets were revealed, but I believe it's going to be called Temporal Forces in the world outside of Japan, and it's coming out March 22nd. Although that wasn't part of that announcement, I believe that I'm pretty sure I didn't make that up myself.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like we've been doing that for a while. Anyway, so it's going to have Paradise. It's going to have like the Tall Raikou and the weird Entei. Anyway, so ace specs. I have not looked at these. Oh, these are not in English. Oh, and that's a special energy. Okay, so
yes.
And these are not reprints. They're pink. Wait, that's not like a bright red. That's like pink.
No, I'm pretty sure it's pink, a full pink background. So for good, for bad.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's...
I mean, it's different, right? It catches your eye. That's the intent of it. I honestly kind of like honestly, I do like the silver borders, and I kind of was hoping for getting a day of having a deck with all silver borders, and now with this, it's just not going to happen.
I mean, like full arts don't necessarily have silver borders either.
I know,
like,
so I guess these are like full arts and stuff.
Yeah, I think they're fine. I like the look. I think the pink pops out. Pink, especially, well, it's kind of weird because fairy's obviously not like a thing anymore. Right. But I like it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And I think it's good for IRL play, right? If you're going quick search of your deck, knowing you just know if your ape spec's there or not, right off the bat.
Yeah, or online play as well. It will help with that as well.
Yeah.
And then so I did get one of these spoiled, but I've not seen both of them, and they're going to be featuring the H regulation mark, which makes sense.
So that's right. Yep. Starting next year, which would after rotation, which probably will be like March. In the March, we'll have F, H, and G.
Yeah.
F, G, and H, I guess is a better way to say it, but the little dyslexic alphabet.
And then let's see. So we're gonna have new Koraidon EX and Miraidon EXs. They're past and future. This is gonna be the third Miraidon and
Ancient and future, but
Ancient and future. Yeah.
Yes. Is that what it is? Is it gonna be the third?
Yeah, because we got we have two. The Scarlet Violet and then Obsidian Flames. So Neo Upper. I'm gonna look at Prime Catcher first. I got this one kind of leaked. I heard the name and I saw the picture. When I saw the picture, I pretty much knew what it did. So it's an item, a spec. You can only have one a spec in here. Well, you can have no more than one, so you don't have to play one.
Right. And assuming that these are translated from the Japanese, but assuming it's correct that the name is in fact a spec, it's important for expanded play. That means you can't have one old a spec and one new a spec. You should just have one a spec in total.
Yeah. And the designs do look similar as well. I will say they're not the same, but they are.
Yes.
Like the A-Spec font and stuff is similar. I mean, it does say A-Spec.
Yeah, even though it's a Japanese card.
Which they do. I don't know why they do. It's kind of strange.
Why they don't have it, why it's not in Japanese on the Japanese
Yeah, I mean,
cards.
I don't know. I'm sure it has to do with the Japanese culture. Of course, with internet, like English is a very popular language, but...
Yeah. But all the rest of the text is in Japanese, so basically. So, although then... it does say next to the number it says ACE, so I don't know. Is that actually what it's going to be? Is the next set going to be abbreviated ACE?
No, that's the rarity. So it's an A-Spec rarity.
Oh, that's okay. Instead of the so the rarity is in non-Japanese characters as well.
Yeah, I think the set symbols are as well. Anyway, that doesn't matter too much for this episode. But Prime Catcher, switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. If you do, switch your opponent's active with one of your bench Pokemon.
Yeah.
And it's just an item. This is honestly this is Guzma.
Right. Guzma, which is what was used before Boss. Similar, obviously, almost the same as Boss.
Yeah, it's the same thing as cross switcher. Essentially.
Right.
I mean, you don't need two.
Right.
I think it's fine. Honestly, it's a little boring to me. Like,
because it's a reprint of something.
Yeah, it's not a new idea. I don't think
Exactly.
it's a problem to have it. I don't know if we don't see any like reprints of the old A specs, then
Look, I will say this was described by Wasi on his
PTCG radio.
as this is too good, and I forget exact. I know he said too good, but I think he implied it was going to cause problems. On Ember Power, another YouTuber who pay attention to, he called it busted. Obviously, it's very good. Busted to me would mean it causes problems, which I don't think it's.
Well, you say
gonna do
stuff's
that.
busted as well. To me.
It is. So busted sometimes just means it's really good. And it is really good, obviously. I don't think it's going to break the game. I don't think it's going to ruin things, though, I will say. We have Counter Catcher now, which is obviously this, you don't have to be behind in cards, but Counter Catcher is pretty similar to this. So because where the game is now, it's not such a radical card.
Yeah, I feel like if we didn't have counter catcher, we didn't have cross switcher.
Right. We have Rope, which is
Kind of.
Your opponent gets to choose. You obviously get to choose your switch, which does some of this. And
Yeah,
you can have 4 of all those other cards.
Yeah,
obviously.
was rope reprinted?
Oh, is that rotating, you mean?
I'm gonna check that.
Well, it's in format now.
Yeah, but then
You think it's gonna rotate?
Yeah, so they won't be in format together. I don't think.
Okay, which is important. This comes out
Oh, and same
next
with cross
year.
switcher.
Cross switcher.
Yeah, I guess
rotate.
it's kind of similar to me. It's pretty similar to counter catch. Obviously, they're different. This is like better, but like there is item dust right now. There's also Pokemon Catcher. It's fine though. I mean, I think it's a good card.
Right. I mean, this could be, and you can recover items. Right. This doesn't go to the loss zone after you play it, so
Yeah,
there's
like
a potential. And obviously, I think I would.
You can't recover items easily though.
No, it's going to be with the control question. I want to consider that in a minute. But look, I think this could be like, and we weren't playing standard back in the day when the Ace specs came out originally. So I don't know if something like Computer Search was busted and that was bad for the format, but it was the go-to Ace spec that you played unless you had a reason not to. And this could be that Ace spec, right? It's very good. Honestly, I would like to see a number of ones really good because it's only one of anyway, and I'd like to have it more diversity myself.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I like the diversity. I don't know if I want them all like absurdly good, where they're like, because they're not super switchable. They are kind of switchable. You do have Irida, you have Arven, you have Arceus, you have
right. I mean, Arven's super popular right now.
Yeah. Or you don't have Force Hailstorm. That'll. Wait, no, yeah, you will.
Yes. Yep. Great. V-Star is staying in format for another year.
So you'll have those, and they're good cards, and they will give you more access. But then, like, if you're playing a supporter, you could just play like Boss.
Right. So I don't think it's going to turn things upside down. It's going to be an improvement to decks. My big concern is what's it going to do with control. We have Snorlax Stall. That it's not the most fun deck to play against. We both play it some, and you need to know how to play it, but it's not fun to play against. Snorlax.
Yeah, I'll say I don't play it much.
All right, you're trying to save the hate, right?
Yeah, no, I don't play it. I played it like a few times. I played the one with the pitch. Yeah, I played it. I used to play it more when it wasn't this good.
So what's it going to do for that? Because it's losing some cards. I don't want to see Snorlax Stall get much better.
I don't think this is going to help it much. I think it helps. Actually, no, I'd say it hurts Snorlax Stall because it offers a switch / gust.
Your opponent
so this
switches.
is
that's true. You don't want to use it probably.
So
you get control.
You can't. No, it's fine. But if your opponent's playing it, it'll help.
It helps your opponent.
But then, and for you already have like your 4 counter catcher, which are essentially active the whole game,
right?
And your boss, so you have like you don't have unlimited gust, but I mean you kind of do. So I don't think it's
a big deal for that.
Yeah, I'd actually say it's worse. But it actually hurts Snorlax a little, although I don't think it hurts it that much, and it will probably be played in that deck.
I would think. I mean, depending obviously what else comes out.
Yeah, its value is just pretty mediocre. I'd rather play a card like Dowsing Machine. In Snorlax specifically, other decks I could see playing Prime Catcher, but in Snorlax I'd always play Dowsing Machine over Prime Catcher.
Yeah, I mean honestly, if they were to reprint Dowsing Machine, reprint Computer Search, and obviously along with Prime Catcher, I think Prime Catcher might be the number 3 card for a lot of decks.
Yeah,
I don't know. I could be wrong.
That might be. I think it depends what if it's searchable, if you're playing like Arven and stuff, or if you're playing. Right. I know there's no like Inteleon engine. If there's Inteleon engine, like this in Live Expand as well. I mean, obviously we're not going to have the old expanded cards, so it's very good. But even then, like it's searchable, so it's very good.
Yeah. So things that search items, and don't forget there is item lock in format, and there still will be, right? Venomoth is not rotating, right?
Yeah, no, Venomoth, Bayonet.
The 4-card one.
Yeah, that one is.
That one's rotating.
I think. I honestly don't know.
The what are they called? The V Union.
Yeah, Pikachu V Union. I don't actually know if it's rotating. Let me see.
I mean, they're all rotating together, I assume.
I forgot. Limitless is like weird about like dashes. No, it's E. Oh yeah, E. Yeah, E is rotating.
So E's rotating. Yes. So okay, so that's rotating. But anyway, so item lock, if it's something to keep in mind as these get good. Like I think it's a very good card. I don't think it's not broken or detrimental to the game. I don't think. I certainly hope not.
Yeah, and I also agree. I think it's good. I'm acting like it's not good. It is very good, but it's not. I was kind of expecting when people are calling this card broken that it would be like drastically better than computer search.
Okay,
which it's not.
Right, something that sets you, like if there was a card to play and it like gets your board state set. I access card X and my board set at the end of my first turn, that would be broken.
Like Battle of FP Pass, but it gets 5 Pokemon.
Like that EX Pokemon that attacks and you can attack going first. I saw that one.
Yeah,
you put 3 Pokemon on your bench, I think.
Yeah, I've forgotten.
But no one's played it.
Some people have played it a little. I've forgotten the name of it already.
Yeah, I decided not to try it yet. But
Bird. Bombardier.
Yes. Anyway,
Neo Upper Energy. That's actually a sick name. I like that. I don't know if I think Prime Catcher is a fine name. It's kind of weird.
And these often the names change though too. These are not the official. There's no official release of the names.
Yeah, I think Prime Catcher is like a fine name. It's kind of whatever. Wait, what is this art? It's like 3 Pokemon catchers or something. Maybe this is an actual thing in the video game.
A triple.
Has like 3.
Like the muzzles are 3.
Oh no, it's 4.
Is it 4? All right.
Yeah. Anyway,
you can check it out.
With lots of like juices, it's kind of strange.
The interesting thing to me with the Neon Upper Energy, you'll read it in a second, but this is a special energy, and with the old Ace specs, they were just items and tools, of course, but tools were items back then. So this is a new type of card being introduced to Ace spec. I like it both. I like the card itself and just the possibility of other different cards again.
Yeah. Wait a second. Why is it So here, what do items look like? Did they change? Oh no, okay, yeah, I was just because the trainer's on the right, so this might say Ace Spec Trainer. I don't know. I don't know what it says in here, like the upper right.
Anyway, anyway, we will find out.
Yeah. So this is a special energy. As long as it's attached to Pokemon, it provides a colorless, which is normal. Yeah. Now, well, literally, it's normal type. But anyway, as long as this card is attached to a stage 2, it provides every type of energy but 2 at any time. Okay, this is interesting. It's kind of like Reversal.
Right.
It's weaker than Reversal.
Well, no.
Well, it's not directly
It doesn't have the same limitations of Reversal. Reversal, you have to be behind in prizes, and for a play like me that's never behind in prizes, Reversal just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And obviously, it didn't work on rule boxes.
Yeah, no, it has benefits, but in some sense, it's worse as well. Like, you can't use this on stage 1. Notably, it's less energy.
Right. The others there's 3. This is 2, and only stage 2s.
Yeah. But that being said, obviously it can work on EX stage 2s.
Right, which is what I assume it's kind of designed for.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, what is it supposed to be paired? Like, what good stage?
Well, that's a good question.
Because what are the good ones right now? There's Gardevoir and there's Charizard.
Right, which is also like what other people have said, and obviously they power themselves up. So you don't need it for those.
Yeah, it's like essentially useless there. I'm actually gonna do a quick
but it could make other stage 2s viable, right?
Maybe. I mean, like you do have Reversal though, and it's like you're usually behind in prizes anyway. Those decks. So
but Reversal doesn't work on the EX though.
Oh yeah, no. Oh, so you're saying stage 2? Yeah.
I still think it's I think it's designed for stage 2 EXs. That's I mean, I don't think it's gonna go in. Single prize decks. Probably. I mean, you might put it in one. Obviously.
Yeah.
You put one in because you can use it like Reversal energy decks. If you don't need all 3, if you're not behind a prize, you have those turns you can't attack.
Yeah.
So it's although most Reversal energy decks a lot of times are Zoroark, they're stage 1s. So of course this is useless there.
Yeah, I mean Gardevoir EX as well plays Reversal, and Gardevoir EX might run this.
Yes.
But then we also see that it does work on stage twos. You could use it on pulling up list stage twos. You could do these are kind of uninspiring. You could do Tyranitar EX. Could toss it in.
Right.
Like
Alakazam
I
EX,
guess
you can pay
the
for a
best
single
thing-
attachment.
Yeah, the biggest thing it does is like Dragonite EX, which isn't particularly good, but this does provide. It's two different types. That's nice.
Are there any other dragon types?
No,
Stage twos?
Not stage two. Oh, I know what you could. Let's see. So there are dragon type. We're looking for dragon type stage two.
Doesn't have to be an EX. So you,
No, and then in standard. I guess it can't be rotating either just yet. Wow, this is
Right.
not a big list. So you have these are not good. The other one is Garchomp, which is immune the turn you play it, which is kind of cool.
yeah, you're doing 160, which is okay, but it's not great.
Yeah. And then you
And you
have.
mill yourself. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure that.
Like, it's not particularly good Pokemon. GLC is good, but
but there are other stage 2 EXs, right? That are 2 energy. The
yeah. There's a bunch. I mean, a lot are.
the Serena EX is 2 for the bigger attack,
Well,
right?
I mean, that's not the main attack.
No, but
yeah.
but hey, I'm trying it out now, and certainly you've played against it, and obviously if you're playing a single prize deck, they just smack you through with this doing 180.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay.
Look, I'm just saying, I'm just trying to make a case. Right
I
now,
don't think it's an awful card. The thing that also confuses me is the next set. They said they're doing Rhydon and Koraidon,
right,
and then they're doing
which are ancient types, which means
Paradox. The one
Paradox. Sorry, right, which means they're going to be basic, so they can't use this energy. Of course.
Yeah, and then Gathering Fire, Raging Bolt, Iron Crown, and Iron Boulder are also all basics.
Yeah.
And then Walking Wake and Iron Leaves, which aren't here, are also basics. And then, so the only one I'm thinking of is Hydrapple might be in this set, but that might not actually, which is a newer DLC. So they could get a Hydrapple EX, but
Well, obviously the number of ancient and future is limited, but there's going to keep being more and more
Yeah,
EX.
but I'm saying, I
all
feel
the
like
stage 2s don't have EXs. Any stage 2 can have an EX, correct?
yeah, but I would say, like, it seems like they want to pair. It would make sense to pair it with something in the set, right?
It would. And there's nothing out there right now that
Yeah,
seems
like
to
if we look
be
at these
the
arts,
match
oh yeah,
of
these
it.
are just the ancient and future.
Right. Which
Trios,
makes sense. And
Swords, and
those are the pack covers of the Japanese sets, because there's 2 Japanese sets usually that kind of make up
Well,
one
it's probably 3. It's usually 2 main set, 2 like
regular ones.
comparable main sets, and then a mini set, which is actually the same size as the main set, but there's only 1 as opposed to 2 or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Japanese sets are a little different, so we could have something like that. But at the same time, that's not like that wouldn't be in the same Japanese set, so it's a little weird. I think it's a cool card. I think if we didn't have reversal, it'd be so much cooler.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, that's right. I mean, yeah, both like because Prime Catcher comes out, we have Counter Catcher, which kind of covers some of the same ground. Obviously,
Yeah, and
Prime
we have like
Catcher's
Boss
better.
as well. Boss is
Correct. And then Neo Upper Energy, which is a little awkward to say, but
it's cool. I like the name.
and look,
It's weird.
I'm pleased that it's a special energy. Hopefully there'll be some more. But yeah, we have reversal, so it's not groundbreaking, but that's okay. Look, there will be more EXs, stage 2 EXs coming out for the next 2 years, right?
Hopefully.
I mean, usually assuming it's a 3-year block of Scarlet and Violet, there'll be EXs the entire time, right?
Yeah. So
And this will be around that whole time. So
yeah, it will. So I'm looking forward to that. I think these are fine. I don't think there's anything else to say about these cards. Yeah, that seems about it. So I don't know. I think it's fine. I'd say I was actually I heard that I saw Pokemon say that there's going to be like some big new announcements. This isn't that big, in my opinion. Like we
Yeah.
knew Aspects were coming, and we knew that there was a new set.
Right.
I was expecting more cards, but we might see more cards. So actually, might be more cards by the time this comes out.
Right. Well, and this is in the Japanese set, which is going to come out in January, and it doesn't come to us till March, so we'll have an idea, obviously, in January, and maybe before January, if they do more leaks for the Japanese cards.
Yeah. So I'll be looking forward to that. Subscribe to my channel 10 times.
Look, it is a confirmation. The biggest thing, we now know for sure Aspects are coming out in our next set. We anticipated it, now we know it.
Yeah. But so that's cool. And one thing to note, this is an item, and the one's a special energy. These are cards that aren't easy to recover. Supporters are easier to recover. Obviously,
Right.
Pokemon and basic entry are easier to recover. So,
Which
so-
makes sense.
yeah, but they're not impossible. So, which is like what it was before, which is fine. I mean, the one G booster was moderately easy to recover. There was a supporter that recovered Team Plasma cards.
Okay.
One thing, obviously, Team Plasma cards. There was a Team Plasma, or there were 2 Team Plasma ace packs, so we might see some ancient and future ace packs.
You think so?
I think
Okay.
it's possible. I don't know if it's likely, but I think it's
It'd be interesting, certainly.
Yeah. Well, I'd say it's actually probably, yeah, if it leans into that. Like right now, the ancient and future aren't really things; they're just individual Pokemon that don't really work together.
Yeah, and there are some other. There's a few trainers, but not a ton of trainers at this point. They're underdeveloped at this point.
Yeah,
I'd say in the TCG. We'll
I mean,
see.
it's only one set.
Right, we're getting more. I don't know.
I'd rather be like Fusion Strike, where we just get all the stuff and it just like destroys everything.
No, but comparing it to battle styles, it's much more limited than that. But it's more in the video game. It's very focused of what it is in the video game, right?
Like it's one.
The
Yeah,
paradox.
it's only a small part of it.
So therefore, it limits what they can do in the TCG.
Yeah, but then in the DLC, it's a bigger thing, as we see here. So anyway, let's move on to our next segment, which is the year-end awards
Correct.
for 2023. And
Right.
what's the first category we're going?
Right, we've got 6 categories, and people voted, and best new tool is what we're leading off with.
Yeah, and I want to say this one is close. In fact, it was decided by one vote.
Yes.
If it was 2 different votes, would have gone the other way, which were our votes.
And we each voted
we
on
each
the other
voted.
person's poll.
So we'll say that would have been slightly different, but we'll
we
say,
both voted for the winner. So
Yeah, we did
that
both.
would have
We
swung
each
things if we didn't vote.
But at the same time, we're going to talk about both of them, and it's our podcast.
Right.
No, also, it was super close. This was the only, I think, close one.
I
It was the
think
closest.
something by far this was the closest. We'll hit the ones that didn't do as well first.
Yeah.
So the one that got only a couple votes, Future Booster Energy Capsule. Obviously, it's a very good tool. It's a tremendous tool. It's this tool might be the best of the tools, but it just doesn't have the Pokemon to work with.
Yeah, we talked about the Paradox Pokemon being pretty like limited for now, and
Right.
that's why this could blossom into a completely broken
free
card.
retreat and 20 more damage on attacks is tremendous.
Yeah,
but
the big thing, 20 more damage is really good.
Yeah.
Free retreat's also really good. The free retreat's being used, the 20 more damage isn't though. So
not too much now.
yeah, I think it's essentially not being used at all. Like we see some lists running it.
That can
I don't
attack.
think what.
Well, right, that can attack with it, right? Obviously, it goes with Iron Valiant, which is with the retreating aspect. Unless you want to attack with Iron Valiant, which I've tried, and it's kind of fun, but it's not.
It's not awful.
No.
But it's not amazing either. So
Right.
yeah, we are. So it's the weakest.
Yes. Then the next one that got a few more votes is the Ancient Booster Energy Capsule.
Yeah. So this one was it gives you 60 more HP for ancient Pokemon,
Right.
and it stops special conditions.
Mhm.
This one I say is weaker, but it's used much more.
Right. I mean, Roaring Moon is at least a viable, and it's an okay deck. It's not great.
It's okay. And same thing with Cloth Electrode, which needs it by
right
definition.
for the Brute Bonnet to get the poison going.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah. So it sees more play, more meaningful play, but still low in the voting. And then the third, which saw some more, and I think this one is a good card. This is probably not looked at as much as it should be, and that's Techno Machine Evolution.
Yeah.
It was a way you can use for 1 energy on any Pokemon or any non-Pokemon that you can get into play.
Well, it's a Pokemon One system play.
That is true. So for 1 energy, you evolve any 2 of your bench Pokemon. So if you go first on an evolution deck
From your deck as well.
from your deck,
it's-
so you don't need to search them out. And if you're not attacking for damage turn 1, it is a nice option to have.
Yeah, which is it's pretty good. Well, I mean, it's good. Evolution decks right now are okay, but they're not. I mean, they're probably the main thing, but they're not. They have some issues. You don't want to be running, and also it takes up deck space because you need this, and you probably need more evolution Pokemon.
Right, and you need to make sure you're tossing in probably 4 Arven so you get it turn 1 too. or something,
Yeah,
or the stadium or something, a bunch of stadium. You need something to get it
yeah.
consistently.
Mhm.
So, but look, it's good, but it was like running around 14-15% on both our channels. So
Yeah, and we did voting in the community tab. If you want to get involved with other things for the channel, check that out.
yeah, and we'll let you know, like we did in last week's podcast, if there is something to vote on in particular with this. And then the top two. So the winner, I don't remember which with the tabulation which came in first. I gotta say.
So the one that came in second was Bravery Charm, but by community voting, it was actually first. It was separated by like one vote.
Right.
Also, one thing I want to say, YouTube doesn't actually tell you how many votes. It tells you the percentage and the total votes. So you multiply those together, but the percentage is like rounded. So
right, you get some fractional things.
Yeah,
so.
but this didn't affect that one, but it's actually a different one. But anyway, Bravery Charm, the basic Pokemon this card is attached to gets 50 more HP. This card's like super good.
Yeah, it's Cape of Toughness reprinted, so
but better
because it's not restricted. It can go in any basic.
Yeah.
The other was on non
GX
or Vs.
No, it could go on basic Vs.
Oh, okay.
Because you could put on like Zashi and stuff like that.
Okay.
But you could, like,
yeah.
Luke Metal.
Oh, yeah, and Blissey and stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
Blissey V. Come on, don't sleep. Don't diss Blissey.
Yeah.
All right, and Entei.
Yeah.
So and it's a very good tool for those decks. I like big basic decks, and obviously taking your big basic things like Blissey, like Entei, you bump it up to 280 to 300 HP on a basic that doesn't take too much energy to power up is a nice way to go.
Yeah.
You're not happy.
No, see, now you're gonna be so excited because there's the new ancient Entei, so you can stick the tool that gives it 6 more HP, and it's like, yeah. Anyway, yeah. So this card was very good. It's not quite winning the award. It'll win second best tool of the year.
Second, yeah, a very close second award. Whatever. We actually didn't design the awards, did we?
What?
We didn't actually design awards.
No. To put on the virtual cards. No, but the winner here was Technical Machine Devolution, which is actually a bit to me a surprise. Like not with the voting, but before it came out, I thought it was just okay. It was actually insane because there's so much rare candy.
Yeah.
If you're a rare candy deck, you got like Charizard, you got potentially Gardevoir. It's not as good a Gardevoir, but it can be good. And then Chimp Excalibur, and then Serena. And then spread decks, if you're against stage 1s, you devolve them to basics. Then you drastically reduce their HP and just KO them, or I should say it devolves their opponent's Pokemon with its attack, and it's a tool.
Right. So if you've gotten damage on the evolved Pokemon, you can devolve them to the point that they get knocked out instantly when they're devolved.
Yeah, which is super good, potentially. It's not always good because you are attacking for no damage, but potentially for KOs.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a good tool. Obviously, again, it's colorless energy. It is definitively the best new tool of the year, and this was a big year for tools. So
a big set for tools for the 5 from
Paradox Rift.
Yeah,
which is nice to see. Right, tools we're getting a little ignored for a while. So.
Other than Force Steel Stone. Force Steel Stone was like insanely good.
Yeah,
but it was weird. People would just like check Arven and like tool search stuff just for it, and it felt weird. That you're like, there's one tool that was like super big, and the rest were just kind of very underwhelming. A few were okay.
Yeah, I never liked playing Arven in decks that I didn't have a good number of tools. It seemed a bit, I don't know, seemed a bit misplaced.
Yeah, like there were definitely decks that ran like a few Force Steel Stone and then like a few Arven.
Right.
But if you Arven a second time, you wouldn't get any value from the tool.
Right. So, but they're very good tools. The devolution is quite good, versatile,
playable in any deck as well.
Correct. It's a counter card, unlike which sees less play in general. Right. Our deck does X to attack, and we focus on that. But here is a counter, but a counter to a number of decks.
Well, I would say
easily splash.
I'd say like counters that are easy to tech in, like a Drapion, a Minior, Manaphy. This counters more things, not as harshly, but it counters more things as well.
Right.
So it's not played in absurd amounts, I wouldn't say.
A lot of most decks don't play it at all, probably.
But a decent amount do. Like Lost Zone definitely really likes this card, and any sort of spread deck and control can as well.
Right. Well, yeah. If you're concerned about like Excalibur, any of those rare candy stage 2s which are predominant, this can be can save the day for you.
Yeah.
So, yep. So a well-deserved win for TM Devolution. So the next category, round of applause. Okay.
I don't even know if that was picked up on the mic.
All right.
But yeah,
So the next category, I don't know the exact name.
it's the weirdest new card, or silliest, or most strange. And so what were I believe this one was a runaway.
This one, I think it was. So, so the least going, start at the bottom, the Haunter from Mew, which I don't remember what it does.
Yeah,
right
see,
now,
the one thing, I think that a lot of these didn't get as many votes.
People don't know.
Yeah. And so this one it's like Versus Seeker for your opponent. So you recover your opponent's supporter back into their hand, which is
usually very bad for you.
Potentially it has some use, but it's like not good.
Right.
So
I mean, I haven't used it. You haven't used it, right?
No.
And you've never considered it. Like the winner was kind of the impetus for this whole category. So it's not a surprise. So then second, I think if I'm looking at it, is Machamp.
I'm looking at it right there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah. So
which I guess is tied for Haunter, actually. So which is one I put out there. I think the design it's just an absurd combination of things. It's got the Guts ability, which has been around for a while. Flip a coin, rather than being knocked out. If you're going to be knocked out, you might go down to 10. So that's nice, but you're very weak, so it's not ideal.
You're not that. You have 180 HP.
Right.
Oh, at 10.
If you're going to be knocked out, though, at 10 you're very weak. No, it's 180 HP, which is fine, but it's stage 2, which is always, like if it was stage 1, it'd be another story. Then it does 100 damage for 2, 100 is just not enough, and then you mill 2, which isn't really enough for milling, but it's an odd combination of not getting knocked out, doing some damage, milling some, I would say. But
so it's a card.
Yeah, but we had a tie for what was fourth, and then a tie for second here. So the first one here is a Patrol Cap.
Yeah, this is a classic. No, I don't think most people know what this does. This is one, in my opinion, this is I think the one I voted for.
You did, but it got much more voting on my channel than yours.
Yeah, so
percentage-wise,
because I voted for on your channel. No, I don't know. So Patrol Cap, it's a tool. Speaking of tools, this one isn't good, but as long as it's attached to your active Pokemon, essentially your deck can't be milled. Which is weird. Like it's weird that it's on a tool.
Yeah.
The anti-mill isn't crazy, but being on a tool is weird.
As opposed to, I guess, an ability on a Pokemon.
Yeah, like ability would make more sense.
Because an energy would be even stranger.
Oh yeah, an energy would. Well, I'd say that I guess it would be stranger. It's just very strange as It's just strange. It's also super niche. It's mill isn't really a big thing at all right now. You do have Cravano, you have Misfortune Sisters as well.
Right. It stops what attacks and
attacks, abilities, item cards, Pokemon tool cards, or supporter cards. So
yeah, the text is also kind of weird.
Yeah, it lists them. I guess it doesn't want to stop stadiums, because that would stop.
So it doesn't also want to stop all milling.
Stop and stuff like that. So if your opponent played a Pokestop, then it would stop that, but it doesn't, because it doesn't stop stadiums.
Oh, because it's your opponent's card, I guess. What? Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's kind of strange.
And seen for essentially no play, and unless mill becomes strong, and who knows? They printed block Snorlax. Maybe they'll print mill Snorlax that
Mills.
You get. That
if it's in the active, you just mill all your opponent's cards.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it was tied with one of your favorite cards.
Exactly, and
which I think I misspelled. Did I misspell the?
Did you?
I don't really know. It's Fortress EX.
Right. It got 2 R's, and I often missed it at the beginning, so 3 R's in total.
Yeah, and 2 S's.
Yeah. So anyway, this one tied with it. Did get a comment from on the voting.
It's like Forest.
Yeah, it's Forest rather than Fortress. Well, no, the combination.
No, I guess I didn't realize it was Forest. That's kind of obvious.
So it said they don't know how you get sillier than trying to win a game by telling your EX to kill themselves, which that's obviously, look, the ability to accelerate 5 energy is tremendous, right? But a huge downside, it knocks itself out. So you're giving up 2 prizes, which is a lot in a 6 prize card game to come back from.
Yeah, I saw that comment, and I laughed. It's because it's pretty bad.
I mean, I've tried it a bunch of times because I love this type of stuff, but I know, it's very tough to come back.
I think you don't like this type of stuff that much.
Because I'd be doing it more.
Well, you more so like boring stuff.
Well, it's awful fun. Look, I've done a
Yeah,
bunch of decks on this. Played more Fortress decks than you have.
That's
I'm pretty
true.
sure.
Yeah.
And we have Counter Catcher, so maybe it's time to maybe I should be playing more now.
Yeah, no, there's a Fortress deck that actually did well in the tournament. Actually, I don't know if it did that well. I might have went like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know if it had a winning record, but
What were they powering up?
it was a control deck, so you can do Fortress with suited control with the
Okay.
Trevenant V, which like discards a random card from your opponent's hand. You might even choose, but you want to like Iono him to 2, discard a card.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not, but so you double Fortress turn 2. To
Yeah.
potentially, if they take a KO and then you double Fortress, then
They're down to one
Yeah, then you
card.
lose. No, then
Well, if they knock out a single
Yeah.
prize,
They're
right?
not gonna single prize it.
That's ideal, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
Then you Iono them down to 1, and then you discard that card, and they have no cards in hand. And you have plenty of energy because you got. I don't even think the list ran 10 energy. I might have, but I might not have as well. And then you can snipe and hopefully win, but probably not because
Yeah.
you're down 5 prizes.
Everything has to go perfectly with it. Like it's a fun concept. It is the way to power up. Was it Reggie Drago?
Yeah, it powers up a bunch of things.
Look, it's hard. Reggie Drago's nice if you can only get the energy on, right? You would agree with that.
Well,
statement.
if you get the energy on, if you get the Pokemon in the discard as well.
Well, yeah.
And then it's not even like broken. It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
it's good if you do it, but it's not.
Yeah. So Fortress EX is but then the winner, Runaway, over 50% of the vote, and that is Snorlax Doll, the card which you actually built a deck playing with it.
I did. I realized because I forgot that you can attach TMs as well, so I might try that.
But it's a pretty useless card. I don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah,
Why don't you read the.
So if there's an item, if you look at it, because many are watching, but if you're not, it actually says 120 HP at the top. If this card's in your hand and you're setting up to play, you may put it face down as you're active or on your bench as if it were a 120 HP basic Pokemon. You can only do this when you're setting up for play, though. I believe this can be after you've taken mulligans.
Yes, I saw the official ruling on that you can do it with mulligans too, not in the start, but onto your bench.
Yeah, and then if it's in play at any time during your turn, you may discard this card from play, meaning so that's how you get out of play, which is moderately useful. But then it can't be affected by stress conditions, can't retreat, and then if it's knocked out, your opponent can't take any prizes for it. So
and you can use the Luxurious Cape, put it to 220 HP, and it still gives up 0 prizes.
Yep. So you have some things.
I mean, not that year.
I have tried it. I have won games, I think, with it, but not like really using it. I mean,
the fact that you can't even play it get into play on your first turn, right? If you could play it on your first turn, it would would see some play. It still wouldn't be busted, I don't think.
It would actually be decent, I think. It wouldn't be that good, like, because
it wouldn't be like broken that it shouldn't be in the game, though, right?
Yeah. No, I think the issue is like the reason it won this category was this is a card that you just like can't really play,
Right.
which is like bad.
Right. Why do they print a card that's almost unplayable? Even an
Like
expanded.
literally unplayable. Like you can't. It's not like people say, "Oh, this card's so bad, it's unplayable." No, this is like you just literally are not allowed. There's a thing that says you can't play this card.
Right. I mean, like I always get frustrated with Battle VP Pass, a card like that you can only play turn 1, but here you can't even play it on your first turn.
Yeah.
So
Once the game starts, you can. I don't actually know when the game officially starts, but as I could believe once the game starts, you cannot play this card.
right, and I don't even know to expand it if there's some weird ability or something.
Yeah, I don't
card
think so.
toss
I mean,
on the
there's
bench
nothing that puts item cards into play.
onto your
Because,
right.
like, why would
So it
you
have
do
to
that?
be an item to put an item into bench.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, so a well deserved round of applause to Snorlax Doll. Certainly the silliest card of the year.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
So next up we got
An old card that got the biggest boost, right? As we saw a number of new cards, and we really gave a lot of life to old cards that they weren't very good. So the bottom, let's see, as I find here. So the bottom probably there was Radiant Alakazam that we put up for voting that didn't see a lot. It's certainly played now more than it was in the past.
yeah. It's also a relatively new card, so giving it like quote, new life is kind of a weird way to say it. I mean, it kicked up this year, but it's better.
It's better
with the help of honestly, it works more with old cards.
Right,
but-
it pairs with Medicham V and
Urshifu,
Urshifu and Helion, and of course those were all around before.
Yeah, but the deck really did come into its own this year.
Yeah.
Week
So,
after rotation.
yeah, and I think it was fair that we put it up there for nomination, but it certainly it not doing that well makes sense. And then the other card, well, the next two are pretty close, but Pokestop, which the Pokestop sees a lot of play, I will say.
I think I think recently it's slowed down a little. The one thing is this is it's a somewhat new card, and at the same time it also it's not like new for this category, but at the same time it also wasn't like bad when it came out either.
No, it's right. It's seen some play the whole time,
Yeah,
up and down depending on the decks.
Yeah, arguably this is the one that in my opinion improved the least, although it improved a bunch still, but it's nice that you get to like it's an active stadium, something I like, a stadium that you actually use. That was a thing that we didn't have in the game for a while. We actually got a few with Scotland Valley. We got Arizona Town Store and stuff like that, but lets you mill the top 3 cards of your deck and then recover and then grab the items you milled.
Right. So it's good. It's obviously it's very deck specific. So even if your opponent plays it, and you don't have a deck built for it that's mostly supporters and Pokemon and energy, it's like, well, I'm probably going to lose at least 2 cards I need, if not 3.
Yeah. So it's something that is sometimes worth going for.
Yeah. No, it's and then the third place, which is pretty close, is Flaffy, which I think makes a lot of sense, right? With Miraidon coming out, it's seen a lot more play than it did in the past, right? With the Dynamotor ability, accelerate a lightning energy from the discard pile to one of your it's any bench Pokemon?
Yeah, any bench Pokemon, any type.
Doesn't have to be lightning.
Yeah. So it's nice. I mean, it's pretty decent. It's not insanely good, but and as you said, Miraidon's helped it. But like Miraidon hasn't been a super top tier deck or anything, I wouldn't say.
It's been fringe top deck.
Yeah, it's been like decent. I'd say it's probably it's decent.
Yeah, and the builds now, I'm seeing a lot of times they just are playing like a 1/1 Flaffy line. At one point, they're playing multiple Flaffies. Now it seems like it's gotten squeezed down from what I've seen. And it's a 90 HP, which is both good and bad, right? It's level ball searchable, which is really nice. But now,
that's not really used either because they're mostly basic decks and like basic EX decks.
Right, like Miraidon, you play very little Pokemon search because you're tossing, getting everything. You get a Miraidon, you get everything else into play, and you're kind of hope drawing, I guess. But 90 HP is also bad because Radiant Greninja blows it up, and that is a key piece of your deck is dangerous.
Yeah. I'd say Radiant Greninja decks generally are probably they're kind of common, but also they're not necessarily super good against Miraidon decks. But
yeah,
at the same time, you don't want to just have your Pokemon die, which is why we talked about Fortress earlier. But anyway, yeah, Flaffy's it got better. It was pretty not great. It got hyped up and then it was like flopped, but it wasn't
right with Rayquaza, right?
Yeah,
which was a huge flop.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, Flaffy was like a cool. Is a cool card. Not the most improved, but pretty nice.
Yeah, definitely saw a boost. And then the second place one gets a pretty significant boost here and a decent number of votes, and that's the Gardevoir from
Chilling
Rain with the ability Shining Arcana.
Yeah, Shining Arcana, which says you essentially draw the top 2 cards of your deck and accelerate any energy, basic energy you find there to your Pokemon any way you like, which is fine. It's not insane, but it's fine. Then Brainwave 60, third more for each psychic energy attached to this Pokemon. This is an older card, and when it came out, as people messed around with it, it didn't have it had the Curlier with Mirage Step to set up,
right?
Which people were talking about how good it is, and it was good.
You were one of those people, I think.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know. It's cool. It was decent, but at the same time, it wasn't broken. I mean, Gardevoir's a decent Pokemon, but it didn't really have energy acceleration. Because you need to hit off of Shining Arcana, so you play less of energy.
Right.
And also using the others you're attacking is 3 because you need to set up with the Curlier. And then you have... and you probably miss energy, so you're probably hitting 150, 180, maybe 210 if you're lucky.
Right.
Which makes this card seem really bad. But then we got some new cards. We got Curlier, which helped it, but that was last year. This year we got Gardevoir EX, which just boosts this deck to top deck in the game.
Right. And Luminous Energy. I don't know if you're going to get to that.
You mean Reversal Energy?
Reversal Energy, sorry.
Yeah, Reversal Energy helped it. I mean, yeah, it made this the main attacker in the deck.
Right.
So I mean, it's a very good card now. It's not like super broken, but it's not like I don't think Gardevoir's just gonna die when it rotates. Like the Gardevoir EX deck, but this is arguably the main piece of the Gardevoir EX deck.
The Curly Engine stays, right?
Yeah, the Curly Engine stays, and the Gardevoir EX obviously stays. So you can. I mean,
we have Scream Tail now, so your deck's going to have to shift.
Yeah, but I definitely think it will be. Certainly, it'll be playable. Certainly, but anyway, Gardevoir very good.
Yeah,
and I think to me this was the defining Pokemon of this category. I do believe that the winning vote with the winner here does deserve it, but Gardevoir here is
it's a very solid choice, but I think the winner deserved to win. I think I put the winner up for the nomination, so proves my rightness once again too.
Yeah.
And that's Rare Candy.
Yeah, played in the same deck as well as many others.
Right.
What it does is it enables stage 2s essentially. In stage 2s, this essentially Rare Candy stood in for stage 2. Stage 2s were horrendously garbage.
Yeah, they were too slow. The big, obviously, in the V era, you had the Vs, and then the V Maxes were the evolutions, obviously,
and then the V Stars,
which were essentially quote stage 1s. So that obviously Rare Candy wouldn't be useful at all in those decks, and obviously, so with those around, they were hard to beat. But now with the EXs, stage 2 EXs, it brings Rare Candy back. We have
you have Gardevoir EX. You have Excalibur, which is a single prize, right? Charizard EX.
Yeah.
You Pidgeot EX.
Yeah.
Even something like Serena EX is playable.
Right, without Rare Candy, that's not playable, I would think.
Yeah, and Rare Candy was used a tiny bit in it was used some in Inteleon engine decks, but it wasn't super common. Let's see. Let's take a quick look at last year.
Right. Once rotation hit last year, Rare Candy took a big hit. Plus, we lost the Drizziles, which searched for the items, which helped get the Rare Candy, and then also we lost the Evo Incense, which was really the best search card for evolution Pokemon.
Yeah. So the best stage 2s from last year were the Inteleon engine, which usually didn't place Rare Candy. Udiv, Suicune, Ludicolo, that was a deck. But then the other really good stage 2 was Archeops.
Right.
Which didn't play the basic. Well, it didn't actually
have it did have a basic, it had a fossil.
Yeah. And then it had and that was stage 1, which you wouldn't play, and then you had Lugia to get into play, and so you wouldn't like Rare Candy. But yeah, now we see that there are Charizard, Gardevoir, Chien-Pao with Excalibur is stage 2.
Right.
And then was it Serena? I'm sure if we scroll down, we could see some. There's a Garchomp, there's a Pidgeot, and they're really good. Alakazam.
But amongst the top 5 or 3 of the top 6 decks are stage 2s, right? I think.
How many?
I think there's 3 of the top 6. There were 3 in the top 10. I think maybe the top 6. Yeah. So Chien-Pao because of the Excalibur, Gardevoir, and Charizard. So it's seen a huge boost. Now the one comment I got, which is good, is Rare Candy is the one doing the boosting rather than being boosted.
That is true. I guess.
It's funny. I mean, it's boosting the card up.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd say that's kind of true with all these cards. They're all boosting some other card. Like Radiant Alakazam. It's not like Radiant Alakazam's the deck.
No, but it's kind of literally boosting the Pokemon.
Yeah, no, I get it. I think that's
it's a little wordplay there, but Rare Candy went from being very unimportant to being a big deal with the EXs this year. So
there's a lot of Rare Candy decks.
You're looking at Limitless. This is IRL Limitless.
This is IRL, which goes back to 2011. Not really, more so 2017, but it was a lot. It's Gardevoir.
So anyway, so Rare Candy is the winner. Well deserved win. It got some competition from Gardevoir, but Rare Candy certainly handled.
Yeah, I'd say Gardevoir got. It was a massive comeback, and one that I don't think many people saw coming. I mean, it was due to one new card or a few new cards down the road, but Rare Candy is crazy. And nice. I think that's something people really like. I think this current meta is pretty decent. It's good. I think it's a good meta. It's not. I don't know if it's my favorite meta, but it's up there.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a lot of diversity of types, of literal types like fire, water, whatever, basics, evolution, single prize, and not so much single
Yeah, I think the
prize,
issue is there aren't very
unfortunately.
single prize decks. And the 2 prize decks are fine. There's a lot of like one-shotting, but I think the meta is still pretty good.
It is.
I like you mentioned this earlier, well, like before with tag teams and like Vs. That's interesting with the balance between the two. And now we have again Vs and EXs there,
Right.
which are kind of working together. They don't work together a ton, but
No.
some still.
Right.
Like we see Charizard popping like Entei, and honestly, you see like Rotom V and
Yeah.
Lumineon V, and it's to take advantage of Force Hail Stone. So every deck wants to have a V-Star power.
Right. And, we're at the end of this format a little bit. We are a couple months away from rotation. So it's just the time to think about those cards we're going to miss and play some. Like Rotom V goes in a lot of decks. You like Rotom V.
My boy Mew VMAX. No,
I'm just saying we're gonna
Rotom
miss
V
these.
is not
Oh, it's not Rotom. You're right. It's the Pidgeot V. I was looking at the Snorlax deck.
Pidgeot Vs.
I think so.
Right, wait, is Rotom? I'm pretty sure Pidgeot.
No, I think you're right. I think I missed. I got a little confused at one point about what
the
rotates.
Rotom V is
With the
Rotom
ability.
V is
We got it for
we
the
got
year. Sorry,
reprinted. I thought we got it like a bunch of different times.
with updated things.
Yeah, maybe not.
Which different
I think
arts?
they're two different. I forgot there was another Lost in Rotom V. So then there was also oh yeah, no, the first that was Lost in. So you said Pidgeot. We need to.
I think so. I was just looking at
I think
Snorlax.
Crabominable V.
Yeah, so I was
Pidgeot
looking-
doesn't. Crabominable rotates.
Oh, Crabominable. Okay, which is the mill version? Okay, well, because
I'm sure it was in Fusion Strike.
we don't need block Snorlax to get better. That's my thought.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So-
But
Anyway, that is what it is. Hopefully, Pokemon does.
yeah, I don't think it's. I
I
don't
really
think
don't think need
massive
more
issue.
cards that add to it.
Yeah, I
if
feel
they
like
print another
Snorlax-
counter catch.
Well, if it's an
for
interesting
Erica's
card,
invitation.
I'd-
Well, if there's another big card to boost stall, though, then that will become like the play.
I guess, yeah.
But anyway, we're getting off track here. So we were lamenting the lack of single prize decks. The next category is best single prize deck. And with the EXs and stage 2s and rare candidates, the thought that single prize decks would make a comeback, but unfortunately, it's still pretty limited. And we'll get into the voting here. So the lowest vote getter here was an old one, and that's Reggie's, and that certainly took a big step back with rotation.
I will say one thing: pre-rotation was this year a little.
Yes,
it
it was strong pre-rotation.
Yeah, and then we had that weird there was like live versus PTGO, so pre-rotation lasted longer.
Yeah, in that format, yes.
So, but anyway, they just weren't like amazing. They were fine.
No, they were. They could have been a top 10 deck
I think they were.
Which is
when they like at the beginning.
at the beginning of the year with all the special energies, right? So, and then the next one, let's trying to look through. So is Zoroark, which that's the deck with promise. That's one of those cards you really like.
It's a classic. It always fails.
And there's so many people that want to see it succeed, and and I've started playing it more too.
Zoroark's fun. You can pop in, like all these things. Look,
It's
you can
the ultimate
play,
counter deck.
Yeah, except it doesn't work. So, but it's a fun deck. It's okay. I think that's all there is. It isn't particularly good, but it has potential, and it's
The diverse meta probably hurts it too.
yeah. I think it's hard to play. So it's a deck that's hard to play. People generally don't like exploring new decks, or new concepts in decks. It happens some. Usually once one person does it and succeeds with that, a bunch of people hop on, but it takes a little while to get there. And it's a card I messed with some, and I never really got there, and some other people did.
Yeah.
I think it has control potential, but control this is the hardest way to play control.
Well, yeah, Snorlax is just very easy to play.
Yeah. So you have a lot of moving pieces of Zoroark, and the big issue is you can't really. If you get all these Zoroarks in play and you get all these different options, you're going really well, but then you don't get there. So you need to cut your losses and figure out what you can do and not do.
Yeah, it's right. Building the deck is tricky. Playing the deck is tricky, and if you don't draw well, it just goes badly. So it's just kind of a teasing deck out there.
Yeah, it's like Zoroark itself is kind of tricking you.
And then the third place is United Wings.
Yeah,
A single prize deck to Mad Party was a solid deck back in its day. Even you would admit that. I think you don't like it.
Wait, what was the name of the? Oh, Watchful. Yeah,
Okay.
I definitely like forgot the names of
Right.
Which we're getting a new semi-United Wings Pokemon. We're getting a Kilowattrel, which evolves, which
So a stage 1 from the
yeah,
Watchful?
it doesn't have United Wings, but it does more. It's like a snipe-based United Wings. It's pretty honestly bad. I think we looked at it before.
It could go in United Wings, but might
Yeah,
not.
it might.
So, it's just partly is what I said, it's one less Pokemon than Mad Party, which makes it worse. The typing is better, I grant you that. But doing less damage, 80 less damage is just something I don't think you can recover from with a deck like this.
I mean, you're not actually doing 80 less. It's not like you're getting all the Pokemon in the discard like easily anyway. Like
No, but now you're doing
less.
you're not doing
you have
enough.
less energy.
If they're not
Well,
weak to
energy's
you,
different.
you just don't. You're just in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, it's not particularly good.
Yeah.
Is it the only new deck? Yeah, it's the only like new deck on this list, but
Yeah, it is. So, I'll say one that we didn't, that I got a comment about, and we did discuss in the podcast last time, and that was Cloth.
Cloth. Yeah, oh yeah. Someone mentioned that, and I said, I don't know if it was on yours, but it's not like a single prize. It's
Is it right? We said. I mean, my comment was yes. If it's on the list, it's first or probably second.
first. I think it's third. I think it would be
could be.
behind.
Well,
just
you
above
might be
United
right.
Wings.
You could be right. Yeah, behind it.
Above. Yeah. Above.
I think it's much above it, but it's a
Yeah.
decent deck. But it relies upon the Hisuian Electrode V also to attack with.
Sometimes, yeah.
And you're attacking with that too in most games. I played this, and I like it. It's just since it's not just support stage 2, it's an attacking stage 2. So I think for us it didn't qualify as a single prize deck.
Yeah. But next up we got my favorite deck. No, this is your favorite deck. That is Snorlax Stall.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, Snorlax Stall, which is where is the Snorlax? I've lost it. There we go. Wood block, stops retreating.
Right. Yeah.
It's a classic. It's Snorlax. Yeah, I mean it's good. It's a single prize deck, kind of.
Right.
More or less. The main Pokemon.
The attackers are single. Right. It plays Pidgeot V. It plays
Rotom V.
Rotom V, and now the newer builds are using Pidgeot EX.
Yeah, and some run Crabominal V, but it has a lot of Snorlax is the star of the show. It can also run Mimikyu. It usually does, and then it can run Mawile. It can run Spiritomb. But this is the main Pokemon, the future Pokemon, not the attacker, but the Pokemon that's in the active.
Right, you're not attacking, but it's in the active most of the game. Is your goal.
Yeah, and that's Snorlax, which is a single prize.
Right. I have no issue with Stall. I don't think you either.
I like Control. I think Control is weird. It's because it's Pokemon's obviously a game which means it's supposed to be fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people say, "Oh, it's fine because it's balanced," but at the end of the day, if a game's not fun, but it's balanced, it's like bad.
You don't want a lot of unfun games.
I think Control can be fun to play against.
Sometimes.
If it's like it can be interesting back and forth. If you don't have the back and forth, like if you if your opponent can't ever do anything at all, then that's not fun.
Right.
Which can happen in other matchups as well. But
you also need to be a relatively experienced player to enjoy it too. If you're an inexperienced player, you're just gonna not know what's going on. It's not gonna be fun.
Yeah, I saw a skit by some kind of like sketch by Bert's PTCG, I believe is his channel name, which was things new players say or something along the lines of that. And one of them was like, "Hey, you've been attacked for 20 turns. Are you setting that for right?" Which is clearly some poor new player just getting bodied by a Control player.
Right. I mean, I got the comment when I posted my deck list up on PokemonCard.io. Hey, you forgot the energies in my Snorlax decks. And it's like, no, I didn't forget them. This is the bad thing about Snorlax. What I don't like about it. This particular
the
card
only
in this
thing
build
that you don't like about Snorlax.
Well, the big problem with it, which is why some people want it banned, right? The should it be banned talk.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
But so it was someone talking about one of the recent IRL event, and they sat down. And I believe they lost the game, which is fine. They lost to Snorlax Stall, and this person said after the game why they played this, and they were like a pokey parent. or something like that, or someone they were someone's ride. Said, "Oh, I want a deck to play," and this seemed like the easiest deck to play. Which is probably right of the top decks, and that's not good. That it's the easiest deck to play.
Yeah, and it's like not fun. I think to me, control is interesting when it's bad. I like playing control more when it's not good.
It should be a struggle, and you're hoping.
Yeah, and it's harder to build. Honestly, in my experience, control players or control deck builders are like the best deck builders because they push the envelope a lot. Mm-hmm. They get some really cool ideas. Of course, it can be annoying, but when it's like easy, it's not as fun.
Right.
But anyway, Snorlax.
It's number 2. It didn't win, and this one deserves to win. Although the debate, this is a comment on the deck, and I think you would agree. And it's Lost Zone Charizard. It said calling Lost Zard a single price deck sounds kind of cheap.
That's exactly how I was figuring that. But it is. It's all single price essentially.
Which is why we said Charizard, because that generally isn't relying on multi-price.
Yeah, but even like any Lost Zone, it's kind of lumped in with other Lost Zone, and Lost Zone's more or less a single price deck. And Lost Zone just isn't fun. I mean, it's fun. I personally think it's moderately fun to play with and against, but it's been really good as well. So
it's a strong deck. It's going to stay strong.
Yeah. And when people talk about single price decks, or when people talk about single price decks, usually they're like, there aren't any good ones except for Lost Zone.
Right.
Yeah, which is true, and which makes it a bit disappointing, but it's also the clear winner.
Right. You don't think of it as a single prize deck because it's a top tier deck consistently, and no other single prize deck is. Like Reggie's was at times, but even when it was kind of in and out, kind of fringe. Part of why it was a good top tier deck was people didn't respect it and weren't ready for it, even among top players.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, it was also kind of like luck based.
Getting set up, that was a deck that just didn't work often for me.
Yeah, that was a bit weird. But Lost Zone is like super good, super dominant, and we did put the Charizard one on the poll. I think you could put Radiant Grinjabills with single prizers, and Lost Zone's like mostly single prize deck.
There are ones. Well, I mean, obviously not like Giratina or
but even Giratina, like you do a bunch of single prize stuff.
And even what was general Lost Zone at one point, it was playing like multiple staged of the V Pokemon, right?
Yeah, but so does Snorlax. And honestly,
but these were
so does United Wing. Yeah, that's true.
Which is a difference. So
I would say it's different, but at the end of the day, I do like it is the clear winner. It deserves to win. It's the best, and
look, the nice thing, like it's a tough deck to play too. It's a good deck. It's tricky. You're making tough decisions with Lost Zoning. You're going to have to, do you Lost Zone the right things is not easy unless you play it a fair amount because you're going to find yourself.
I think people overreact to how how hard it is. Or no, I mean I think it is very hard. Mm-hmm. But people think like, oh, if you make one small mistake, you lose, and that's not really true. If you make big mistakes, you'll lose. But that's true without any deck.
Yeah. You're making more decisions per game.
You're making more decisions, which is why a format like GLC is harder because you're making more decisions, and then a format like Themed is easier because you're making less decisions. Mm-hmm. And so Lost Zone's harder than Snorlax, where you make. Well, technically, Snorlax you do make a lot of decisions because you have a lot of turns, but they're obvious decisions do I play because you have a bunch of supporters, but it doesn't matter that much.
Do I gust up something this turn, or do I just play Misfortune Sisters, and what do I hit off of it?
But usually those decisions are very obvious. With Lost Zone, you have some more complex decisions, but at the end of the day, some people, and I sometimes act like this as well, that everyone's always playing perfect.
Right.
Which obviously isn't true. Even in if you look at tournaments, I don't usually watch tournaments, but if you watch them, you'll see. And then you're paying attention to how they're playing, they're making misplays all over the place.
Yeah,
just small misplays that don't really impact the game. Some of them do, but then right, you'll notice lots of misplays.
Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, top players at an IRL event, they're not clean in their play.
Yeah, they'll probably make. I'd say the average play, they'll probably make 5 misplays every game.
Maybe.
I'd say the average player probably makes around. I'd say I make around 10 to 15, small.
I mean, it depends what you mean by a misplay.
Well, I mean anything that's slightly wrong.
Yeah, I mean, now look, I would say if you're not how far are you thinking out things? So at some point, a better player thinks out more steps in advance and understands the odds better, so they're more prone to misplays. If I only think out one or two steps ahead. If I don't think out as far, and I don't know the odds as well, I'm not sure I'd classify it as a misplay if I just don't know
I
what the better
guess.
play
I
is.
feel like so you're just bad.
Like I mean, like when you sequence things, it's really about what are the odds of getting the cards. Like, should I play my supporter? Do I play my the barrel? Do I grab, like, do I comfy first or nest ball? Do I thin, or do I see what I get from the comfy first? Some of those aren't entirely clear.
Yeah.
There is always a quote best answer, but some of it you have to know what. Like at this point, I have 44 cards in my deck, and what are they exactly, and what do I need? And at some point,
Well, yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Those are all
that's-
misplays. Actually, I probably might make more than that. Top players probably make more than that as well. Like the average player might make, I don't know, saying like 50 misplays like seems absurd. They probably make like 30 misplays in a game by that definition, which is like seems crazy. They're like, oh, I can't believe I misplay this game. Like you misplay every game, but
cleaning up those, that's where just those little improvements will make a big improvement overall.
Like say with like NTV where you draw a card, you should generally always draw that before you attach an energy. Under like normal circumstances, even though it doesn't really matter, you're like I'd attach the energy anyway.
Right.
So,
right. Even if yes, just in case.
Yeah. Anyway, long story short, I'm really good at Pokemon, and you're not.
You can play Lasso and Charizard mistake free, where I will make one mistake per game. So
no, you'll make 30 mistakes.
50
you make 50 mistakes per turn. Yep.
Anyway, so Lasso and Charizard best single prize deck. So congratulations there. And then get near the top. So best new deck here. And we have, so look at some good decks here. The last place deck didn't get many votes, and that's Chen Pao.
Yeah, I think this is what I voted for. I like it. Chen Pao Excalibur. Chen Pao was
it's got a lot of promise.
Yeah, I mean, it potentially. If it sets up, it probably beats every deck in the game.
It can one-shot anything.
It can one-shot anything. It can act with single prizes. It can spread
hit the bench. You can attack with single prize, multi-prize. Yeah.
So it's very good. It just doesn't set up super well. It always has like low win rates and.
Yeah. It's obviously half the rare candy generally for Excalibur. You almost never evolve manually, right? Without rare candy in that deck.
Well, you don't play the stage one.
Right, exactly. You don't. You could, but you people just don't, right?
Yeah, which means your opponent's team devolution, boom, you lost, or something like that.
Right, or your Excalibur you have one Excalibur in play to knock it out. All of a sudden, you're like, oh, I discarded all my energy last turn with the Chen Pao's attack. Now I guess I'm not attacking this turn.
Yeah, this is why we see builds. But then you do. I think our polls were different. I think I might just call it Chen Pao, and you call it Chen Pao Excalibur, which does open up Chen Pao Palkia.
Yours does.
Yeah, I think. I don't remember, though, honestly. But Chen Pao Palkia is, like, a way to play it, which does give you the option to, like, you don't all of a sudden just, like, lose the game off of some, like, weird situation.
Yeah. But Chen Pao Palkia, then, is like a 1/1 Palkia. It's not a build, like a Palkia deck that has 2 or 3 Palkias and 1 Chen Pao.
Yeah, well, I'd say it's usually, like, a 2, and then, like, 2 Chen Paos. But anyway, you get onto decks that like aren't really Chen Pao anymore. Right. But Chen Pao is like decent.
Yeah, look, the damage numbers are very nice. It's got the energy acceleration of Excalibur. It's got the promise, but it's kind of a trap, is how it's proven to be.
Yeah, I'll say I think it is better than the next deck on your list, or on the list that came in second to last, which is Roaring Moon. Mm-hmm. Roaring Moon is newer. I think some of the categories favor newer cards.
Right. Well, it's new deck in the title, so Chen Pao feels like an old deck at this point, doesn't it?
Yeah. Which is true. I mean, it's not that old, but it is older. But Roaring Moon has also been similar. It's very turbo-y. It's more straightforward. Chen Pao is not that complicated, but has more moving pieces. And then, so Roaring Moon, you just go, and you probably like lose. You just go hard. And
the win rate's not good.
It's okay. It's actually.
Is it okay?
It's like 48, which is like.
That's all right. But it's played the second most right now. So it's played a lot.
It's like the most, and then it's fallen off.
I know all the top 3 decks for win rate for plays are below 50%. So
win rate, yeah.
Win rate, yeah.
Anyway. Although ties, Gardevoir does actually have more wins than losses. Because of ties,
are
counted essentially as losses.
Anyway, so look, Roaring Moon, it's new, so it will get sorted out more. These are very much the last 2 plays, so it's higher than Chen Pao, but it's still well below the others. It's again very nice. It's very appealing. 3 energies is the problem. We do have energy acceleration. with Dark Patch, but that's not as good, in my opinion, as the Electric Generator, which is kind of similar too.
Yeah, let's talk about that. The third place one is Miraidon,
Yeah.
which is clearly in third. I think it's I don't think Miraidon's very good. Like it doesn't really do anything particularly impressive.
It sets you up.
That's,
Miraidon, you get
that's up
the
your
best
basics.
turn ones consistently with Miraidon than any other deck.
Well, forgetting your basics, but then you do Electric Tender and then you miss,
I'm
and
just
then you pass, and then your Miraidon gets one-shotted, and then
but you can attack with Raikou.
you can attack with Raikou. You can attack with obviously Miraidon. You can attack with there's something else that I'm
Well,
forgetting.
you can play Regieleki V and VMAX if you chose to. You got the Zapdos EX now. Hit the bench with.
Yeah, there's some Pokemon that I'm forgetting. Oh, there's Iron Hands.
Yeah.
Oh, Raichu V as well. You probably don't use that turn one, but you have that.
No, right, which gets you the big knockout
Yeah.
eventually
And
with a lot of setup, but
Yeah, and it works with Flaffy. It's a good deck. It's not, to me, it's not one of like the best of the best. I know there's some people who think that.
well, you're not necessarily attacking with Miraidon, right?
Yeah, that's
so
true.
it's a setup, and you'll attack occasionally because it does 220, which is okay.
I mean, it's like the best attacker it's the best perhaps damage attacker, like most powerful.
Yeah, I mean, with the Raikou, at most, if 2 full benches does the same.
Yeah.
You can stream it every turn, and it's only 2 energies, though, so sometimes that's better.
Yeah, no, I think Raikou is better, but as an attacker.
And obviously, you have the Raichu, and that's the one that can do the big damage. But
And
you got to get a lot
Iron Hands as well.
in Iron Hands, right? So, but making it all work, and you're playing Electric Generator, so you need a lot of energies in deck to make Electric Generator work. But then the more energies in deck, and I think you play 15 or 16 when I play it. But then you give me a look. But then of course your deck's a little less. Your top deck and energy a lot too.
Yeah, no, I think to me it has a bad late game.
It's a great early game. It's a bad late game with it.
But so just like Roaring Moon, except that you like can't one shot everything.
Right. Well, Roaring Moon, you have the second attack that blows up, or the first attack, however. That knocks out anything, as long as they're not immune to effects. But
Which I've seen people do.
Make that mistake.
I think I'm not too often.
Because you still damage yourself, right?
Yeah. Oh, actually, no. I don't remember if you do. I don't think you do. Let me.
But
check.
anyway, Roaring Moon has that potential.
Yeah, no, you don't.
I think Roaring Moon has a lot of potential. Miraidon's obviously been played more, it's been around more, and seen some success, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Without new cards, I'm not sure that Miraidon's going to get better. I think Roaring Moon.
It's going to have new cards.
It will.
It's not like they're not going to print any lightning Pokemon for the next
That is true. But Roaring Moon's going to get better. They're also going to, besides more dark Pokemon, there's going to be more.
Paradox.
Right, more ancient Pokemon. Is Darkrai? No, Darkrai V-Star is not rotating because it's a V-Star.
No, yep.
So I answered my question there.
Very smart.
Exactly.
So
anyway, but neither of those deserve to win. I think the good decks. I don't feel bad if you voted for them. And the fourth place deck our second place deck is Gardevoir EX. Obviously, one of the best decks in format, possibly the best deck in format.
Yeah, I will say. So it's very good. It's been out since Scarlet and Violet, and it's been good since it came out. The one thing someone said that they were, that they wanted, they asked about Entei Valiant, which I said is not a new deck, and they said, well,
Because the Entei.
Yeah. And they said, well, is Gardevoir a new deck? And I was like, well, maybe not. The main Pokemon is, and that is why.
But not what you're attacking with.
No, but the Pokemon that the deck's named after, I think.
Although you just said the other Gardevoir got the biggest boost, and that's a Gardevoir. And obviously the Kirlia engine is huge to the deck. You can't take that away.
Yeah, but
have the deck.
I think the Gardevoir EX is like the main card. Now I think it deserves to be on this list. To me, and also Entei Valiant's newer. It's worse, I think. I don't think it's drastically worse, but
looking at this deck, one of the top decks out of the 20 Pokemon, there's like 4 new Pokemon out of the 20. Right? 2 Gardevoir EXs.
3 out of 17 or 4 out of 17.
You have a Jirachi, which is just for defensive purpose. You can ignore that. You have the Screamtails and the Gardevoir. 2 Gardevoir and Screamtails. Everything else is old Pokemon. So anyway, it's on the list. It came in second. I think it deserves the second place.
Yeah.
And anything else to add?
It used to not run any new cards. Now it runs some, which is good.
Reversal Energy.
Reversal,
Luxurious Cape.
Counter Catcher, Super Odd. Boss. No, but I
That's
own
right,
I
got
own
the
a
silver
new.
border there.
And Arjune's new. So it runs some new cards. I don't think it's bad to put on this list. I could see an argument for it not being on this list.
Right.
And maybe why some people didn't vote for it. But the number one deck,
And I think it deserves to be number one. It deserves number one on this list. I think it's worse on the deck of the year list than Gardevoir, but personally, and that's Charizard EX, which is obviously a new deck, still relatively new, and at least in my mind, and very good, right?
yeah,
Its ability, it's very tanky. It's 330 HP, right?
yeah.
Dark type. It's weak to grass.
I mean, you like big HP dark Pokemon.
I do. Bring back Eternatus
Yeah,
into
yeah.
format again. I'm hoping for, right?
Yeah.
So 330
Yeah,
HP.
no, please don't bring back Eternatus.
Why not? Freak out Eternatus. Yeah, maybe they'll print a tool that does exactly what Eternatus
Maybe
does.
they'll actually print a regular Eternatus card. Maybe not though.
That's true. There's just that, the V's, and the Radiant, right?
Yep. So
But that's we're very off track. So Charizard, very tanky. It powers itself up with energy and one to spare. I mean, the fact that it's 2 energies to attack and it accelerates 3 is, honestly, I think it's a little overboard. I think it went a little overboard with that. I think it would have been fine if they either accelerated 2 or made the attack cost 3.
Well, it would have been fine if it accelerated 1. Like, it wouldn't be
It'd still play.
as good, but yeah.
Right, because now you're powering up, even if you're attacking with Charizard, you're powering up something else, or you can just attack with other Pokemon. Fire
Yeah, like
type.
now, so Path is generally bad for Pokemon that get hurt by it.
Yeah.
But if you get one Charizard off, now you can like play your other Charizards in their path because you already have energy on them. So
Right, and if you set up the one, you get 1 energy on another Charmander, and then you just have to manually attach as you evolve. And
Yeah.
you're ready to go. So very good, right? And the damage level's low at the start, although it's 180. So when I say it's low, it's not bad.
yeah,
right.
it's like a very decent mid
You
range.
wish you could do 220 though.
Yeah,
which you can't get there
no.
really. I guess yeah. So but then it's hard to knock out, and the damage level just ramps up as the game goes on. So it's potentially very good.
Yeah.
And that nothing to add to
No,
that.
I don't really think there's much to add. It's very good. It's a very new card focused deck. We see Pidgeot often ran in it, and then we see Arven plus sometimes the TMs.
Right, you can play it with the Technical Machine Evolution.
Yeah, you could even put in TM Devolution sometimes popped in there.
Right.
Honestly, yeah, this deck to me running for Arven, like a lot of lists run for Arven, and they run like a Force Hailstone, Defiance Man, like Battalion, sometimes Choice Belt, but like you don't get that much value off of Arven after Force Hailstone. You mentioned this earlier as well. I feel like
Right.
I was an Arven hater when it came out. I now like it, but only with the TMs. With the TMs and Force Hailstone, you get this insanely powerful card. But to me, the rest of the time, it's just pretty
Right.
mediocre.
Half the time with a deck like this, you're not drawing a tool in which and you
Well, you're drawing a tool, but you're not necessarily doing one that's helping you a ton.
Right. Well, this deck plays 3 tools, and
Yeah.
one may be prized. At some point, you're going to not have tools. I mean, like, should you just play an Irida or something, and then you can get one of your water Pokemon
I
as
wouldn't
well as
play
the item.
Irida here.
I'm just,
The Manaphy and Lumineon.
I guess not.
Anyway,
but-
so and then is this the last category?
Yeah, so now deck of the year. So the big category here. And last place did not get a very strong showing, and this is Lugia Arceus. Largely, I think, look, you include the entire calendar year, it was,
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. Like it was
for the
best
first
deck
quarter of the year, it was the best deck, period. It didn't win Worlds, but it
really good.
it was just unstoppable.
I mean, it wasn't in
beast.
the like a Worlds format with the Aurora Energies. That was never.
Okay, that wasn't
And
around.
it came out after.
Worlds last year, and then
Worlds.
rotation came for this World. So
Yeah. So, but it was so. I mean, you could one shot any Pokemon in the game. You could take multiple prizes. You could with like when you say one shot any Pokemon with a single prizer.
right.
You can take extra prizes with Stoutland. You can do Raikou. You can do Kyogre. You can do.
You can
anything.
attack with any type of Pokemon because you had 4 Aurora energy to pay any energy cost.
Yeah, you can attack. Yeah. Your main attacker. No, this isn't necessarily your main attacker, but it's a very important attacker. Was it Fire, Psychic, Dark, Colorless was the energy cost,
Which is absurd.
for no damage. No, but it was Lugia
And the Yveltal.
Very good. Yeah.
So it was super good, and then it was thought to be dead with rotation, but then with the single strike builds, it was still.
I mean, clearly it was kind of dead. I didn't get
it was
very
probably
many
a top
votes.
10 list, but in terms of IRL play when first, it was. No, I get it. I mean, part of it's the bias towards the new, right?
Yeah,
Because right, I think it was probably you're looking at.
yeah, it like has fallen off since.
Yeah,
Like,
it fell off. There was Colorless Lugia, which never was quite so good, probably, at least not for a while. In single, anyway, I think it deserves on the list. I think it deserves a little more love than it got. But
I mean, these are all very good decks.
yes, they are. So the next in the voting list is Gardevoir EX.
Yeah, I'd say the next two. The fourth place is Gardevoir. Third place is Charizard.
Right.
EXs.
And they're both close-ish.
Yeah. To me, I'd put Gardevoir above Charizard in this.
Yeah. I mean, Charizard from the recording just won the latest regional.
Yeah.
So maybe it's making a comeback. But over the course of the year, Gardevoir has been.
I mean, Gardevoir's been
a
out
top.
more, which to me helps it.
And it was considered in a lot of people's minds the best deck, or at least potentially the best deck. It was in the debate for best deck a lot of the time this year.
Yeah, I personally don't think it was the best, but and clearly other people didn't think it's the best deck of the year. But it's not like those two are pretty close.
Right. Both strong decks, both deserve the votes they got.
Yeah, and both we just talked about. So let's move on to the number 2 deck, which is pretty clearly number 2.
And that's Mew VMAX.
Yep, UVMAX won the World Championship, which I think helped it.
Yeah, I assume that helps a lot.
Yeah, that it was very good the whole year. I think it's gonna go down in our Hall of Fame. It'll be
in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I think it will be. I think it's. I mean, it might be the best card ever. Well, it's not.
Which card are you talking about? The Genesect or the Mew?
Think the deck might be the best deck ever, which I'd say
it goes on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah,
and Mew's the face of the deck.
Yeah, Mew's the face. It's called Mew. Someone is called Mew Genesect. There are different names, and different names mean different things.
Right.
Like there's Double Turbo Mew, but all the builds play Double Turbo, and there's Mew Genesect, but all the
right now I think those are the same, right? It's Fusion Mew or Mew.
Yeah,
Genesect.
all the decks play Fusion Strike.
Right. They all play Genesect.
So at the end of the day, but
they don't play Fusion Strike Energy.
That is true. Although they sometimes do. Sometimes they put one in for like the effect.
Oh, just to stop.
It's not super common right now, but it is a thing.
Okay. So Mew's it's been a beast since it came out.
Yeah. I've always kind of been a Mew hater. Like, not thinking it's bad, but I think it's not like the best.
Yeah. Well, and I think we both. I certainly have said in the past. I don't like the way it came out with all the pieces. It was almost a built deck when they released the Fusion Strike expansion, which I don't like about it.
Yeah, that was kind of strange.
And it really they didn't add more Fusion Strike. They added a couple, but nothing major.
Yeah, they added Ice Q. Let's run Ice Q. Yeah, it's like played, but it
played some, but nothing crucial to the deck.
I'd say Ice Q is moderately important.
Anyway, anything else? Yeah, and Mew certainly deserves its place near the top.
Yeah,
of the list. So.
Then the last card we have here is the last deck. You want to say it?
The deck of the year is Lost Zone, which is a beast. Just works. Obviously, very versatile. By that we mean all Lost Zone decks, not just Charizard's Genesect. I'm reading Greninja, the V, any of the Vs it wants to work with.
You got a lot of different things. You have the amazing rares, which is a thing. So you just have a bunch of different things. I definitely think that like Lost Zone deserved it. Lost Zone obviously has a really high, a really high cap in terms of power and versatility. It's just so good.
Yeah, it's an engine that it's not going away. I don't think until it rotates. It's gonna be strong and just see different ways to do it, which makes it fun too. Of these decks, this is the most fun just because it can be anything. Besides it itself that you can attack with, obviously doing Cramorant for 110 on your first turn is nice. Sableye is always a threat, and then you can power up anything else.
Yeah, it's kind of single pricey, which is fun. The only argument I could see against this is that it's not one deck, but
right,
I think it deserves a spot.
Right. I mean, if you look at Limitless, I guess there is a Lost Zone deck or Lost Zone box.
Yeah, but it's just been a top deck since it came out as well.
Right.
So, actually, was it a deck?
I'm not sure.
I think it was. They've changed stuff around, but it used to run crazy stuff like this isn't crazy. They used to run some crazy stuff like probably not for an ice or an Regigigas. You could see crazy stuff in the deck. I want to find one with the amazing rares, which was a thing, but you could do like just so much cool stuff. Why did all these on Radiant Charizard?
Well, and now as you're looking at that, I mean, now they have builds with the ancient Pokemon, so
the Paradox.
The Paradox, sorry, yeah, both Paradox, ancient and future. So just a super versatile engine that can attack, and you can run a deck that basically just uses the Lost Zone for the primary attackers as well.
Dialga.
Can play Goodra with it, which is always good, always great.
Yeah, you can do a wide variety of good things. Maybe it was later on they mixed it up. No, I mean these are like interesting. There are a lot of different builds of it. I'd say if it's a deck you haven't played 100%, you should try it. It's essentially free. You could do like whatever you wanted. It's super crazy.
I'll just say if you haven't played it, it's going to be it's not easy to start with, but you need to make the investment into some time to learn to play it.
I don't think it's that hard either. Like people are like, well, what if people act like don't Lost Zone Pokemon that you only have one copy of, obviously, because that you need. People are like, oh yeah, new players are gonna Lost Zone.
Well, you got to be very careful with the energies because usually the energy counts are pretty thin.
I mean, you need to be somewhat careful.
You need to know the matchups too. Like you need to know which cards am I going to need to win this game, and if you don't know right at the start of the game and you lost on the wrong pieces,
I guess I feel like that doesn't actually happen that much though. I've never had that happen where I've lost. I maybe once or twice I've gotten made some silly mistakes or stuff like that, but generally it's not super. If you do blatantly awful, if you Lost Zone your Radiant Charizard in your Radiant Charizard deck, obviously that's not good. But aside from that, don't Lost Zone all. You could get non-checker prizes, but I'll say I don't run builds that run 2 copies of energy.
Well, a lot of them do. There's builds out there that run 4 types of energy with 2 copies of each. And depending on the matchup, you need both energies to attack with some things.
Yeah, and then people are like, "Oh, I wonder why I lost this game." It's because you don't.
And hey, if you don't, if all you see is some a Bidoof in the active, and all you could start is your Comfey, and you got a Lost Zone a card, and you see 2 basic energies, you got you're guessing which one to get rid of. So it happens.
That does happen. I'd say I don't like to run builds like that because
but look, it's an important skill. Look, Lost Zone's a good deck. I've gotten better at it. I was one of those people that was very uncomfortable for a while with it. That I was just making the wrong decisions, and I would end up without the things, and do decks play? How much recovery do you play? Because you've got to recover energy back to the deck or Pokemon in the deck, and looking at you play this deck has 3 super rods. So at what point do you have to have a super rod? Or if at some point you have a super rod and a colorist, you're like, okay, I need colorist on my turn. Is this my last? If I don't have the super rod, am I not going to be able to make my plays at the end of the game?
Yeah, I don't know. I think you just
pull the colorist and see what happens.
I just send it. I definitely am the type of player who just lost into all their energy. But then it works out, So just wing it and it should be fine.
This one plays a ton of energy.
Yeah, this is the Paradox build.
4 dark, 3 water.
I mean, it's not that much energy. It's
2 lightning.
11 energy.
That's a lot for a loss. A lot of Lost Zone decks are playing 6 or 7 energies.
Those are the Radiant Charizard builds. Tend to run less because they only always run Mirage Gates.
Right.
But in a regular deck, this isn't that high of an energy count or anything. But anyway, Lost Zone deck of the year.
Very good. Yeah, well deserved. The goat that's
for now.
Right. Although Mew won the world, so it is the deck in that sense. But in the people's choice is Lost Zone, and well deserved.
Yeah, sure. Lost Zone, very good. And we'll see it next year. I imagine it'll change. With the Paradox, I imagine it will embrace the Paradox aspect. I think if any deck can pull them together, it's Lost Zone because it works well with basics and it works well with different energy types, and it works well with a little bit of cohesion but a little bit of versatility as well.
Yeah, no, right. No, it's a deck that's not going away. I kind of feel in a sense Arceus is in that position, but it keeps diminishing, obviously.
Yeah, because it doesn't work with EX. It worked. I honestly think it would be better if it would be more interesting if it worked with EXs. I don't think it would be broken. I think it would be better.
I mean, they could print an EX that powers up EXs and Vs, which wouldn't be bad as long. I wouldn't give up the same ability.
Yeah.
I don't think we need that.
You're not ready for ADP EX. 5 Pfizer.
And let's put a turn. Let's give a Turnus
HP.
ability for let's make it a 10-card bench.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's like a 20-card bench. So you like need to buy like another table to play it. So you go to tournament but instead of like 20 people in a row, it's like one.
It's one. Oh no, sorry, I need the deck space. I need table space here.
No. Anyway, so I think a cool year for cards. I'm looking forward to the future. Let's see. I'm actually gonna look at PokeBeach again to see if they
Anything new?
Okay,
No.
unfortunately, doesn't look like it. We got pink cards though. Again,
We do. And we'll look at more of the future next week, because next week will be podcast will be dropping on New Year's Day, so that's the time to look towards the year ahead. This was a look back on the year. A lot of fun cards, a lot of good decks. So,
and then I think we enjoyed doing Pokemon and YouTube as well, and
Yes.
the podcast. We didn't do it the whole year, I guess, but we did most of the year.
yeah, we're at episode 49, and this is the 50th, so we almost started at the beginning of the year. I
Yeah.
assume I didn't look at the exact date. And so, I'll close it out saying congratulations to the Lost Zone. You were the deck of the year.
Thank you.
Take care.